What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Man, I'm waiting on my co-host to chime in here very, very soon. It's another opportunity for us to talk with y'all and real talk and real estate. And we are so very, very excited to be here with you guys and just sharing our wisdom, our knowledge over the past so many years. Man, I don't even know how long I've been in the game. I've been in the game for over 20 plus years of real estate right here in Jacksonville, Florida. And when my co-host gets on there, we'll talk a little bit about that. So I'm very, very excited. Yeah. Hold on. So listen, we had a regular show that was actually scheduled tonight. And unfortunately, there was an opportunity to make some money. Well, not unfortunately, but they had an opportunity to a client flew into town, and they had an opportunity to go make some money with that particular client. And so we was like, oh, by all means, go make that bread. And so it's no problem. We will reshift, come back together, and do it again at a later date. So so those who were trying to chime in and listen to the the marketing queen, man, I'm telling you, it was going to be a good show. So, but we'll make sure that we bring that show back to you guys at a later date. So, real quick, I know my co-host is getting on the air real soon. Hold on one second, he's texting me now. Yeah, so we're gonna have a good show today. What we'll probably do is we're gonna try to shift a little bit. We've been getting a lot of inboxes from individuals asking us how we actually came about in this industry, some of our pitfalls, some of our successes, some of the things that we struggled with, and so we'll probably talk about a little bit about that tonight from my perspective, and then Maurice's perspective as well, just to kind of give you guys a background on me while he is getting ready. I actually started my. I moved to Jacksonville back in 1996. And then in 2000, well, 1996, 97, we were actually building houses. I was married at that particular time. We were building houses in that Springfield area, renovating houses in that Springfield area. And then I had a particular investor that was infusing a whole bunch of money into our business. And unfortunately, that particular investor, he passed away. And so the money was no longer there for me to maneuver like I really wanted to maneuver. And so I had to pivot. I had to relook at my brand. I had to relook at my focus and relook at what I want to do in life. And in 2000, I decided I was going to get my real estate license. And so in 2000, I got my real estate license. I think it's 2000, either 2000, 2001. Got my real estate license, and then I jumped out there in the general realm, and quickly found out that that wasn't what I wanted to do. And I met a young man that was selling houses for a builder, and that particular young man began to tell me the ins and outs of the game and how he became. I think his name was Eric. I think that's what it was, and showed me the ins and outs of the game. And I started working for a builder, and my career spawned off from there. Had a long run with a couple different builders here in Jacksonville, Ryland Homes. What was my first builder? I think that was Admiral Homes. I think I started my career with Admiral Homes over there with Judy Watterson. Shout out to Judy Watterson, who gave me my first opportunity to be involved. And it's funny story. I remember when I went in for my interview with Judy Watterson, and I had never, I think I sold like one house in my career, because I remember I was only doing general real estate. I think that house at that particular time was like, 250,000 or something like that. I don't remember. But it was a big house, nice house. It was like 250. And in the process of that interview, Judy began to ask me questions about, my career. And she said, well, how many houses, how much volume have you done? And the only thing I could think of was 2.5. That's all I could think of. I know you're thinking she heard 2.5 million, and I'm thinking 250,000. That's where my mind was at, right? And so she was like, wow, that's pretty good, because she thought I said 2.5 million. She was like, that's pretty good. She said, you're going to be a beast at this particular industry, and we're so very excited to have you. And the funny thing is, she asked me, now mind you, I'm coming from corporate America. And had never ever done real estate before. And so at corporate America, I think my income was like $40,000, something like that back then in 2000. And as I was talking to Judy, she says to me, she said, "Well, how much are you trying to make in this industry?" And the only thing I could think in my mind, all I'm trying to do is replace my income. All I'm trying to do is replace my income, so therefore I can pay these bills at the end of the month. So I had $40,000 in my mind, and before I could get 40,000 out of my breath, Judy says, "Well, if you're trying to make anything less than $100,000, we really don't want you." And quickly in that particular moment, she shifted my whole mind. She shifted my whole mind because now I'm thinking the possibilities. I was thinking too small. I was thinking too short. I was thinking, 40,000 was all I needed. But now when you said 100,000, I could add 60 more thousand to that bottom line. And that looked a whole lot better than that 40. And so quickly I was like, yeah, I can do that. Let's make it happen. That's exactly what I was thinking. I just shifted my mindset. Even though I was thinking in my mind 40,000, when she said 100, quickly my mind went over there to 100,000. So I started my particular career with Admiral Homes. Had a long stretch, a long time career with them, and did some amazing things and opened up different communities and things like that. Had an amazing time. And then I was selling against another company by the name of Ryland Homes. And there was a young lady named Judy Hamilton. And and so she and I became friends. And she started telling me all the great things that Ryland had to offer. And then I switched over and I became a Ryland rep, right? And because we were selling against each other in the same community, so and I would think to believe that I was beating her, but she thinks to believe that she was beating me. But who knows? We got to go back into the record book. So Judy, if you're watching this, I think I still beat you in those years, but who knows? It's all good, friendly competition. So I came on board as a rep with Ryland Homes and did very, very well. Did some amazing things, and then did that for about 5 or 6 years. And then at some point I just got burnt out. I just got burnt out in the industry. The market crash. That's what happened. The market crash in 2008, 2009. I remember that. And the market crashed, and we couldn't give houses away. We couldn't give them away, right? Everything just dried. It was almost like somebody came into the disco club, and I know people don't use disco clubs no more, but I'm old school, right? I'm still using disco clubs. So somebody came into the disco club and just kind of hit the DJ booth and scratched the turntables. And hold on a second, my boy. Hold on a second.
There we go. There we go. Let me in here, man. Let me in here, bro. Let me in here, man. My fault, folks. I'm sorry. I'm running behind.
Yeah. It's all good. I was just telling my little story a little bit. I know we're going to, unfortunately, we had a pre-show that was planned with Miss Boyer. And, she had an opportunity to go make some money. And so when you have an opportunity to go make some money, we we want you to go make that money, right, Maurice? Right, Maurice?
Yeah.
Maurice, right?
Yeah. Absolutely, sure, man. Yeah. All right. Hey, so what? So I'm just hopping on, man. Hey, so really quick, I want to put this out to everybody who's watching the show. This is a Real Talk in Real Estate podcast, and we try to bring you real talk from real agents, giving their testimony, giving their truth of their business and the journey they have been on. So just wanted to put it out there because I think sometimes people think that we come up with scripted questions. We give the questions to our audience, and that's not the case.
Sure.
We really come off the top of the dome with this podcast. And we kind of really do a great job of feeding off each other. So, we allow the guests to come on, speak their truth, and then we just jump on the questions from there, man. So,
sure. It's all organic. People don't really understand that. They thinking that we have a pre-done script, but we're having a conversation, and you don't have pre-done script when you're having a conversation.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? This is not an interview process. This is we want to know the real deal based upon the answer that you give. We want to have a real conversation. That's why it's called Real Talk in Real Estate. We're having a conversation about the ins and the outs, the pitfalls, the good stuff, the bad stuff of your real estate career. And so some people can't do it. Some people can't do it now. They need scripts. They need scripts, and they want to know every bullet point, and they want to know how many questions we're gonna ask. And not everybody can do it. So, and it's okay. This show is not for them, and we okay with that.
Absolutely. And I would say too, just so everyone knows that that's the premise of having this podcast, is to give you a real look at the real estate business.
Sure. Right.
Media, everything else is really what we really do in this business. And if you see the grind, daily grind, it ain't like you see on TV.
It ain't like you see on TV. We kind of talked about that last week with DD. And people thinking this is like the $1 million listing stuff. That stuff is glamorized. That's scripted. You know what I'm saying? Yes. But when you jump out here in this real world of real estate, it ain't scripted, baby. There's a lot of things that go in and out. And everybody's not always going to love or respect your thoughts and your opinions. And so it's okay.
Absolutely.
What we're talking about tonight, I know we kind of talked a little bit last week, and I was kind of sharing my story a little bit, but I think you and I have a lot of knowledge in the industry. I have over 20 plus years. You have a long period of time. You came back, and now I talked about my 20 plus years, but it hasn't always been just in general real estate, just buy, sell real estate, open up door. That's not where I've been in different capacities of real estate. You know what I'm saying? So my resume is long. I not to toot my home, but I've been a recruiter for a company. I've been a trainer and training agents and on mindset and how to get this thing done, marketing. So my career has spanned over the last 20 years, and to good and bad. I definitely got the knowledge and the information that I need, but because I hadn't been consistent in one particular thing, sometimes when you get ready to rebrand yourself, that's all people can remember. They want to know, I thought you was a corporate trainer. I thought you was the recruiter. I thought you was this, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's a question for you then. Let me jump into you real quick and ask you how, because you branded yourself.
Yes.
Right. You branded yourself. You are known as the bearded realtor.
Yes.
All right. So tell me about that journey. Tell me about how you came up with the concept. Tell me about the journey of that.
So just to go back to something you just said, I have not been in the business that long. A lot of people think that I have, but I only been in business 3 years.
Yeah.
This year will be my 4th year, sometime in August. I think it's when I started my journey. But when I started, for those who don't know my story, I did 20 plus years in the Navy. And after 20 plus years in the Navy, the one thing I hated doing was shaving. So this is how the concept came up. And it's a story I'll continue to tell till the day I die.
Wow.
So when I got out, I decided, okay, I'm going to grow a beard. I always wanted to grow a beard. It's kind of like a rite of passage when you got out the military. It's like, hey, you've shaved all your life. Now you don't have to no more. You can shave. You can do what you want to do, grow your hair out, whatever you want to do. There's no restrictions.
Right.
And so what I did was I took a full year. Well, actually, no, I just started growing it. Like as soon as I got out, like April, May, June, whatever, to my terminal leave, started growing it.
Mm-hmm.
And so going back to that, I got my license right before I got out, like June of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And so growing the beard. And what I noticed was nobody had one.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody had one. And so I went to a conference or whatever. I don't know. It's some local event where they had a bunch of vendors. And I'm just doing my normal networking thing, making my rounds. And this lady, God bless her soul, I don't know who she was. I can't remember her name. She walks up to me and says, I know you from somewhere. At the time, I'm like, okay, do you know me from the base? Because other than the base, Naval Station Mayport, and there's Jax, I would not have seen you anywhere else because that's all I knew.
Sure.
And so I asked her, I said, hey, did you work at the base? She said, no, I didn't work at the base. I said, you work at Mayport? She said, no, didn't work at the base. I said, is your husband a spouse? Maybe you saw me in an event or something. She's like, no. She said, you look very familiar to me. And I was just like, I don't know where I know you from. So what I did was I said, she didn't know my name, but she knew my face. And I had a beard. It wasn't as big as it is now, but It was still a nice size, full beard. And I said, man, wait a minute. Doesn't know my name, but she knew my face. I said, wait a minute. So I came home, and that's kind of when the light bulb went off. I said, type in Google search, who's rocking a beard in real estate in Jacksonville? At the time,
zero.
I found there was zero. Nobody was rocking a beard in Jacksonville. So I was like, started playing the word search, the bearded realtor, THE, and I found a bunch of people had that branding. And I was like, it was a guy in Iowa, it was a guy all over the country. It's a bunch of people that had the THE. And I said, wait a minute. How can I stand out and be a little different? So I said, let me just change the E to an A. And we rocked it out. I mean, that really changed, you know what I'm saying, my branding to people to where they recognize me.
That's good.
And so still rock the beard to this day. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of how the beard.
Do you think the beard has helped you, hurt you in any way?
So and I thought about this question a lot too. I don't think the beard has helped me gain more business. I would say that the beard has helped me be more recognizable.
There you go.
It definitely. I want to dispel that rumor to think that agents think that this beard has helped me get more business. Absolutely not. That's not the case. Right. You know what I'm saying? What's helped me get more business? Consistency, hard work, prospecting, being around others who are doing this at a high level to where I'm continually being inspired. The beard had nothing to do with it. The beard was just more like an icing on top of the cake.
Got it.
It just made me stand out amongst the crowd. So no, it did not help me get more business.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good, man. So you got so you talked about a couple of things. You talked about consistency.
Absolutely, man.
Do you think that the military career that you had, do you think that in any way shaped your view on being consistent? Because military, you can't get no more consistent than that. You got to be up at a particular time. You got to have your uniform a particular way. It's that. That's what that is. It
is. But I think it also goes back to it really goes to. Okay, so I speak open and honesty about this. This is real talking real estate. I'm gonna speak open and honest. When I got out, I wanted to break away from that. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to break away from having that such structured life. And that's how I got into real estate. I wanted full control over my schedule. After being in it so long, I've missed a lot of big events in life, man, over 20 years, man. I missed my first daughter being born, bro. Like she was born and I was on deployment. Wow. And I didn't see her until she was 4 months old.
Wow.
So by the time I saw her, she was already in a routine. She was already doing her own thing. So
you were interruption at that point.
Exactly. So I'm like this new guy who's like, who is this dude? I don't really know who he is. So I mean, that was definitely, birthdays, funerals, parties, birthdays, Christmas, holidays. I missed a lot of stuff, man. So I mean, I wanted to go right.
Right.
I could have easily gotten a corporate job, worked on the base, had this big GS contracting job, but that's not what I wanted, man. I wanted to have control over what I wanted to do. Sure. And now I do. And yes, the discipline did teach me that, and it did help me in my business, but I still had to learn what it took to be successful in business, because the way the military is ran and the way it's done out here, man, not the same thing. It's not the same thing. It is definitely very different. It teaches you how to, like in the military. Here's an example. In the military, if I shoot you an email today, I'm expecting a response today.
Right.
If I shoot you an email today in my real estate business, I may not get a response till tomorrow. I may not hear about you.
There's no sense of urgency on it.
There's no sense of urgency. So it's like, okay, I had to learn how to work with that, because people on this side, when I came out here, they work on their own pace. So I mean, I had to learn a lot of things that were different, but the consistency of running a business on a daily basis has really changed a lot. And the discipline is what's helped that. You know what I'm saying? Got to be disciplined.
You got to be disciplined.
Gotta have the discipline.
Sure. And you can't, you know, how do you handle that? You know, because when you talked about urgency sometimes and you're disciplined, you know, you're going to make sure that you do the things that you're supposed to do. But now you have a client or a customer that may not have as much discipline and urgency as you have. How do you navigate around that?
I'll tell people this: you cannot want something more than somebody else wants it.
That's good.
If you want this real estate goal more than that client or that person or whoever you're working with wants it, they're not the right client for you.
They're not the right one for you.
They're not the right one for you.
Do you have that conversation with them, or you just let them go?
I leave them to their own devices. If I see that they're not putting in the same amount of effort that I have put in, or they're not, you know what I'm saying, getting documents in, or they're not being communicative or communicating with me, or they're just not, you know, because at the end of the day, here's the thing. We all adults. This is going to be your house. So if you can't take responsibilities to get things done now,
sure.
What's to say you're going to, you know what I'm saying? You really want this house or you really don't? I mean, I don't know.
Tell me up front that you don't really want it. Because, you know, let me allow me the opportunity to go put my energy somewhere else.
Absolutely. And you know? So that's the thing, man. I mean, if you want it more than they do, then what are you doing? The only thing you're doing is getting yourself wrapped up into it more and more because you're frustrated. You're upset they haven't done the things they're supposed to do. You've told them what to do. You've got them with a lender, got the credit straight, or whatever the case may be, and they just don't have an urgency. So you're like, why am I wasting my time? Yeah.
So what do you think some of the other keys to your successes? And we're going to jump into some meat. We're going to jump into some particulars. But what do you think? I know you talked about discipline, consistency. What do you think some of the other keys to your success that has allowed you the opportunity? Now we're talking real talk. So let's talk about that first year. That first year, we feast or famine. What we doing?
So the first year. So here's my take on this first year. I think I closed maybe 5 or 6 deals my first year, which everybody says, "Oh man, this is awesome! You did a great job your first year." And I'm like, "What?
Right?
That ain't no money."
That's about what, 40, 50?
Yeah, like it was like, I think it was like 35, 40 for the first year. And I'm like, you know, this is good, but I don't know if this is like I can't eat off of 35 a year. That's not sustainable for me. So I think so I know that what it was for me, it was the fact that I wanted to do it at the highest level. Like it's that competitive in me. You know, if I'm gonna do it, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to half-ass it. I don't want to, you know, just play around in it and stick my toe in it. I don't know if I lost you there, Chris, but I don't want to play around with it, man. I wanted to be the best at it, do my thing with it, and go all in with this real estate thing. Oh, I guess I did lose Chris. So we'll just keep rocking along with your boy, Maurice, the bearded one, used to be the bearded realtor. And we're going to continue talking the story. So I just think that me just wanting to be the best real estate agent I could be was why and how I kept my drive and kept my discipline, you know, because at times it was some months I was like, man, I don't know if this is for me, especially that first deal I closed. And so the first deal that I closed, I got a commission check of $525. Yeah, that's right, $525. And I think the purchase price was like $25K. They gave like, I think $1,000 commission. And I could easily quit then and said, no, this ain't for me. But here he is. He's back now. He's back in the stream. So yeah, so I was just telling my story of how, I mean, that first year, man, that first deal that I had, I could easily quit. You talking a $525 commission check?
That first year. So even though you made $40,000, you feel like you could have easily walked away from it?
After that first check, absolutely. $525?
Right.
$525? I worked on this deal for 4 months to get $525?
Right.
I was like, nah, man, this ain't, I don't know about this right here.
This ain't for you.
And the thing I had to learn was all this work, you can keep working it. If that deal don't close, you don't get paid.
What was your expectation coming into the game? Like, what was some of the things that you
here's
thought?
My expectation. I'm about to be real with you. I thought I was gonna come in and slay this thing. I thought I was gonna come in here like it's gonna be a piece of cake.
Right.
Yeah, like who doesn't like me? Like I'm a cool dude. Like I can do my thing.
Right.
Nah, that mother said, nah, bro, this ain't how it go.
Right.
I definitely had to learn how to run a business, how to prospect, how to contracts, client, customer service, all of that, man. I had to learn that. Like, I thought it was gonna be easy because like we talked about before, man. I mean, they make it seem so easy on TV,
right? And
on selling Tampa and selling Atlanta and all those other things. I'm like, man, it's gonna be easy, right? So it's like. Oh, wow.
And that's the concept. People think that all of a sudden you get your real estate license, and then the floodgates of all these people just gonna start coming to you. Talk, oh, you got your license, but the reality is everybody know a real estate agent. Like you go through your phone, you got 4 or 5 folk that you know right now that are real estate agents. Yeah. Everybody knows a realtor, a real estate agent. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And so the question is, what separates you from the rest of them, and who they gonna call when they're ready to buy a house?
Absolutely. And I'll take. And that's another one, man. It's very disheartening when you got friends of yours say, "Oh, I just bought a new house. I didn't know you was a realtor." What? What you mean? I've been posting about this on social media for months. Right. You ain't know?
Yeah, people have this mindset. It's out of sight, out of mind.
Oh, absolutely, out of sight, out of mind, man. So yeah.
They don't really consider it and think in forethoughts. When they get ready to go buy a house, they off, they gone. They didn't went into that model home. They didn't. Found somebody who was talking about it that particular day, and next thing you know, they're off to the races.
The
loyalty is not there.
It's done. It's over with. I mean,
what are you doing now to be consistent with your contacts, your network, just to let them know, hey, when something happened, I'm here. What are you doing?
So what am I doing now? I do like a monthly phone call to those clients that I've closed business with.
Okay.
And what I've also done now is I hold events. We do try to do an event per quarter. So first quarter we did a client appreciation brunch. Did a nice little spread. I don't know if you saw that post that I put on there, but
what was the client
appreciation brunch.
Okay.
Invited all my past clients, and so what this does is it allows you an easy way to contact your past clients or people that you're in relationship with, to where it doesn't seem very awkward, especially if you haven't talked to them in a while. You can easily invite them to an event rather than trying to have a conversation. Right. Hey, what's been going on? Oh, not much. Hey, just wanted to, I'll let you know, man, I'm about to have an event. Go ahead and invite you and the family. You think it's going to be this date, this date. You think you all can come out. We're going to have waffles. We're going to have pancakes. We're going to have blah, 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 blah. And then once you invite them, that's an easy conversation to have. Who doesn't want to come to a party for free food?
Yeah.
So, and I mean, having that conversation, then now once they come, they push you back in front of them. Now you can establish that relationship, and you can get back on track with that person. So so that's kind of what I've been doing. I did one in March. Yeah, I did one in March, and I'll probably do another event. I'm actually gonna do an event in my neighborhood in June, and then do another client appreciation event in July for my past.
So the one in your neighborhood, what are you gonna do? Just invite your neighbors to it?
Yeah. So actually, I'm on the social committee in my neighborhood.
Okay, nice.
That's intentional. That's not for fun. That's intentional. So I'm gonna be on there to meet new people, network with my neighbors, and then now I can be intentional of we're gonna do a pop-up shop in the neighborhood. So
I like it.
All businesses come out. And then now who's going to be up on the pop-up shop?
Right.
Me, because I'm on the committee. Of course I'm going to be on the pop-up shop. Like, and then now I can put myself out there to my other neighbors to say, hey, I'm your local real estate agent in the neighborhood. If you got any questions, and then we did Kona IC come out to and see, that's the catch. Be intentional. What I did was I ordered Kona IC to come out for the event. And if you want free Kona IC, you got to come get a ticket from me.
Right.
You got to come register at my table.
You got to meet me. You got to meet me.
You got to meet me. You got to come see me. So if you want free icy, you got to come meet me. Register your name.
That's good.
Introduce yourself, and then I'll give you a free ticket. You know, it costs me a couple of $100, but think about it. I mean, a couple of $100 and a possible business deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's a game changer, man. Like
start like you said, what it sounds like you're collaborating. You know what I'm saying? And so for those realtors who are listening to this and you're new to the game or whatever, start collaborations. Find people who are doing certain things in an industry and do something with them. You know, he talked about the icy. You know, bring those ices to a particular event. And then allow them to do their business, but and what you want out of it is just you want the contacts and the meet and greet. You know what I'm saying? This is about touching hands. How many hands can you touch? How many hands can you shake? This is what this game is all about. Those who can shake the most hands are the ones who always gonna win in this particular industry. So that's good stuff, man.
Always gonna win. Always gonna win. So Chris, I got a question for you, man.
Sure.
So you're back in the business, man.
Now, I want to make sure we're clear. I ain't never left the business now.
You ain't left the business, but you're officially engulfed in being active back into real estate.
Absolutely.
What concerns or what challenges do you think you'll face that you haven't before that you think you'll face in the current market?
I think there's two major. There's a great question, man. Great question. I think there's two major concerns that I'm dealing with right now. A lot of the technology and things have changed as far as in the industry. So being able to get back in front of the information in warp speed, so therefore I can catch myself up to what's actually going on in the particular industry. Because for about the last 8 years, I was a recruiter and trainer. So I've been doing a lot of things in the industry, but just in a different capacity. So I never had to concern myself with the NEFAR contract or door knocking or open house and what's the legality of this. I never had to concern myself with that. So I think for me, one of the major challenges is to be able to get out there and get that information as fast as possible. So therefore I can create that confident level to know that I know what I know. You know what I mean? Okay. So right now I'm operating on an unconscious competence level. Like I'm unconsciously doing things because I just know to do it, but I'm ready to get on a conscious competence. Like I'm actually knowing what I'm doing. Does that make sense? Yes. So that's number one. And then I think for me, the second thing is like we talked about earlier, when you hit it on the head, it's like being intentional. You know, I've done so many things in this industry for so many years that at this particular point, I have to be intentional with my network or my contacts just to make sure that they know, hey, for the last 8, 9, 10, whatever years, I understand this is what you thought, but let me tell you where I am now. And I would love to be able to assist you in whatever capacity that I can. So it's disheartening when you see people that you know, next thing you know, they posted on Facebook that they got a brand new house. I'm like, hey, I can't fault you. I'm gonna congratulate you because at the end of the day, it wasn't your fault. I'm gonna take that on the chin because that was my fault. You know what I'm saying? You did exactly what you were supposed to do, which is obtain the home ownership. I salute you. I congratulate you. I applaud you. I'm gonna take that on the chin because I didn't do my part. I didn't do my part. So those are the two challenges that I'm facing right now, but it's not something that we're not going to be able to overcome, and we're going to overcome them very, very fast. Kudos to you for being right there as my rock to make sure that I navigate around this thing as fast as possible. So, and I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate
Absolutely. And here's another thing. Listen to me sometime. I know I ain't been in the game as long as you have. Listen to me sometime. We're going to put it out there right here on the show. I don't cut no corners. I don't just be talking just to talk. When I say something, bro, I just be intentional. Hey, man, this is what it is. I don't have to say it with so much authority. I just tell you, hey, I really don't think it's a good idea, but I had to let you be. So let's talk about it.
I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that on. I'm gonna take that one. You know, one thing that I've learned in life, man, is to say sorry when you're sorry.
Yeah.
And own some ish. You know what I'm saying? And I think in this industry, folk don't really want to own no ish. And I'm owning my ish. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna own it.
It's always somebody else's fault.
It's always somebody else's fault. No, I'm gonna own that. That's my fault.
So Chris, so where at this point right here, I know you back in the saddle, on like the actual selling houses, getting into the business of that side of the business, not the recruiting and training. That'll be a portion of it. Yeah. So where are you trying to take this thing, man? Where are you trying
to? I'm like you, man. I have high expectations for this industry, and so I believe that with the trainings that we're doing, that you're doing, the tools that you've given me, the structure, I really believe, real talk, that I'm gonna do 100,000 this year, and then on from there. Next year it's gonna be a good year. We're gonna make some waves. I believe the show platform is gonna take us to another level. But you know what, man, I'm gonna tell you too. I know we got a lot of things going on, you and I, behind the scenes, and I'm so excited to partner with you, just in different capacities. But you know what I'm really, really excited about, man?
What's that?
I'm really excited to get back to the grind. I for some reason, man, it's like, I'm actually looking forward to getting out there and knocking on some doors and documenting that thing. You know what I'm saying? Getting back to the basics that we've lost. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think over the last couple of years, I think folk have just lost. This real estate is done by the basics. It's tried and true. What I'm saying? The more hands that you shake, the more people that you can meet, you're gonna win. And so sometimes we gotta take it back to the basics. And so I'm really, really excited to get back to the basics and do those open houses and do the door knocking and doing events and shaking hands and kissing babies and being a politician. Sometimes for those are the ones that's out there kissing babies and shaking hands. That's what they try to do. They're trying to get your vote. What are we trying to do? I'm trying to get your business.
Yeah,
that's the reality. So I'm looking forward to everything that we got going on, and just really taking this thing back to the basics.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Well. So real talk. So we talked about basics for you, and we talk a lot because I know in the industry when your business is thriving, and your business is thriving right now, right? Your business is booming. You're on autopilot.
Yeah.
Are you forgetting the basics now? Are we still trying to stay in there? Be honest. So like, how easy is it to do that?
So it is very easy to forget the basics, but I don't think I forgot the basics, because the basics for me are fun. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The basics of social media that's my bread and butter, man.
Sure.
Like that's why I hone my business, social media, and that goes across our platforms. So because it allows me to be creative. It allows me to just be me. There's no judgment. There's no there's no rules, there's no guidelines. Like social media is just social media. You can post whatever you want. So I mean,
you can be whoever you want.
You can be whoever you want. So I mean, no, I don't think I've forgotten the basics. I think that I sometimes, and I'll be honest with you, I think sometimes I kind of lose. I kind of do a lot at once, and sometimes that kind of hinders me, or not really hinders me, but it kind of overwhelms me sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to do so much, and between the social media, the videos, the engagement on social media, because I'm doing my own engagement. I'm actually the one that's replying to messages. I'm the one that's actually liking posts, comment on your posts, messaging you of how you're doing, how's everything going. I'm doing that myself, so it's not
no bot. That's not no AI.
Yeah, there's no way out, because here's the thing: I don't want somebody else to do it for me, because it's not authentic. It's not me.
Sure.
They can say something, then somebody responds, and then they don't know what to say. Like after that, they don't know how to take the conversation. So I like to be engaged in those conversations. So and sometimes I'm up 8, 9 o'clock answering messages or responding to comments, because I want that engagement, because that's how my bread and butter goes, man. I mean, that social media, it's free content. Like, that's what I don't understand. It's like,
absolutely.
Like, you have a platform. I think Facebook has a billion people on it. Of course, you can't get to a billion people, but it's a platform that's free to you, and you just grow it organically, man. Like,
Are you doing your whole platform on an organic level, or are you doing paid ads? No paid ads.
No paid ads.
No paid ads.
No paid ads at all. Absolutely not. And so here's the thing, man. I'll give everybody who's watching this pro tip. I use the same content on all platforms, man.
Okay. So you're not trying to decipher which ones is going on Instagram, which one you just doing the same thing on all the platforms.
Same. If you see something on Facebook, you're gonna see it on Instagram. You're gonna see it on LinkedIn. You're gonna see it on Twitter. You're gonna see it on any other platform I'm on.
Got it.
I don't try to change it, because I don't have time. Like, who has time to create something for Twitter, create something for Instagram, create something for Facebook, then create something for YouTube? Who's got time for that?
Right, who got time?
I don't.
Keep the main thing the main thing.
Keep the main thing the main thing, and then just let it be. Let it just put it out there in the universe.
That's good.
If you don't rock with it, cool. And I will say this. I've been able to close a deal on every platform except for Twitter. It's only platform I have yet to close a deal on. Facebook, close a deal. LinkedIn, I've closed 2 or 3 deals on LinkedIn.
Wow.
Instagram, closed deal on. Twitter, I've yet to crack the code on Twitter, but it's coming. It is coming. I've cracked the code on every other platform to close deals on.
That's good. Yeah. That's good. So what about, we talked about paid ads. What about buying leads? You do that?
Now, okay. So let's talk about this. Let's have a real conversation.
What we doing?
I did start a new, so I think EXP has this new paid leads thing they're doing with realty.com. I did sign up for that. Okay. Now, here's the reason why I signed up for this, because I thought it would help me take my business to that next level. You know, granted, I can get organic leads all the time, but it's always a long, slow, drawn out process.
Sure.
Then also the other reason was those paid leads will put me in a different area that I would never be seen, such as St. Johns County. You know, St. Johns County,
hard
to crack, and you talking median sales price is what, like $500,000?
$500,000, yes. Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was a very strategic move to go ahead and, because when she said those 2 zip codes down there were open, I said, I gotta do it. Like, let's put me in a totally different area. So I mean, I definitely did it. I just started, been getting leads, and
now is this something exclusive for EXP platform, or this is something that they're doing for other agents around the country?
So this is the package they have with EXP is an exclusive package, and the way they do it is they do it different than Zillow. Okay. So when you get your zip code, you get exclusive rights to that zip code. There's no other agents that can come in that area. Got it. So when you have a zip code in Jax, that's your zip code. No one other agent can have that. So it gives you a lot of exclusivity. Is that the word?
Exclusivity.
Yeah. Exclusivity. And so they also have an ISA program too. So they have some ISAs that will follow up with some of your leads.
What's ISA?
Oh, internal sales agent. That's one of the people that you have on your staff that's calling all around the clock, whatever their hours, 8 to 5. So yeah, they're calling for you, and that comes with the package. So that's something that I was like, that's not a bad gig. I mean, you're gonna call the agents, call the contacts for me. You're gonna give me my own zip code that no other agent can be in.
Right.
And
so how long have you been on this platform?
I've been on this platform. Matter of fact, my 3-week checkup is tomorrow. So my 3-week check-in is tomorrow. So yeah, I just got started on the platform.
Okay. So we'll touch base with you in about a month. I want to see how that's going. Yeah. You can tell us the pros and the cons of that. If it's worth it, not worth it. We can definitely talk about that. So I know you mentioned a couple times EXP. You mentioned that.
Yes.
Give us a little breakdown on EXP. Did you start off on the EXP platform, or did you start off with something else?
Nah, I didn't start out at EXP.
Okay, you started out somewhere else.
I started out somewhere else.
Okay.
I started out at Century 21.
Okay.
Century 21. And I was there exactly 6 months.
Okay.
6 months.
And what happened? You just didn't like
no, so here's what happened at Century 21. Love the people. The managing broker, Doreen, loved her to death. Still love her to this day. She taught me pretty much everything I know about writing contracts.
Right.
You know, here's how you do it. Here's how you write it up. You know, she basically took me from a little baby and showed me how to walk, basically. And so I know for me, here's what the kicker was. They had 2 offices. So you know I live by the airport here in Jacksonville.
Sure.
And you know how far that is from Mandarin.
Yeah, far.
It's far. Yeah. It ain't no around the corner.
You better make sure somebody at the office before you get there.
Well, luckily he gave me a key, but they did. So they did training on a weekly basis. It was done every Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
So for me, we talked about this before. For me, if I was trying to get out of that structured system, that meant I had to get up at like 7:30, eat breakfast, have something to eat because I got to eat. I can't really function on not eating.
Right.
Get to the office at 9 to go to a weekly training. After a while, bro, this gets old. Like I wasn't feeling it. I'm like, Then he got a second office, and they would do it out in Ponte Vedra. So you know how much even further that is from my house.
Right.
You're talking 40 minutes.
Yeah.
This is way down Phillips Highway.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, I don't know. That training was killing me. And so here's what the camera well, the straw brought the camera back. So when I was there, they would give the agent the check. Agent would take the check back to the office. Then they would cut you your check in a day or two. Very old process.
Old school process.
Very old process. Because I didn't notice at the time I didn't know. I'm new to the business. I don't know what's going on.
You thought that's how it's supposed to be.
I thought that's how it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the kicker. Good friend of mine, now business partner, my guy Terry, sold him his first house here in Jacksonville. 400 and I don't know, it was like 470. I think it's like 470. 3% commission. So imagine the check. So I'm getting the check. I'm like looking at the check like, and it's not made to me.
That's bigger than the 525 one that you got.
It's made to 2021. So I'm like, wait a minute. And my split was, I think it was like 70-30 split. I was like, wait a minute. This math ain't mathing. Like, what's going on here? Because I live on the north side. He bought a house in St. Johns County.
Right.
Albert County Road 210. You know how far that is. That's still pretty far.
Yeah.
So for you don't know, if you're watching this on podcast, Jacksonville's a big city. Very large city. It takes you 30 minutes to get anywhere from one side of town to the other. If you gotta go anything further, man, it'll take you about 45 minutes depending on traffic. And so I took a look at the check. I was like, man, this is crazy. I'm only getting so much. And now I got to wait 2 days before I get my money, but you got your money the day of. And I was just like, nah,
that won't work.
This ain't gonna work for you.
That won't work.
So I went to 100% brokerage after that.
Okay. And it wasn't 100%?
Bro, it wasn't 100%, man. Was not 100%. It was not. Yeah, I mean, you got all your money. You got all your money. You got your whole check. You got all of that. But when I tell you, I got no CRM, no website. They did trading in the evening, and I'm just like, I can't do this, man. Like I work a full day. You want me coming to training in the evening at 6:30?
Right. Because you were still military at the time.
No, I was out.
Oh, you was out by then. Okay.
Yeah, but who wants to go all the way home?
I got you.
And then come back out for some training in the evening at 6:30. Okay. And then training get out to like 8:30.
He's like, nah, this ain't gonna work.
This ain't gonna work, man. Mm-hmm. This ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. And every time I try to do something, you can't do that, Maurice. You can't do that. I'm just like, you know what?
Don't worry about it.
This ain't gonna work for me. I was probably there 3 months. I was like, I'm down.
Right.
I'm gonna holler at you.
Okay.
I left. And that's when I jumped on the EXP. I jumped on EXP March 2020, right before the country shut down.
When you saw the EXP platform, what was your initial thoughts?
This is too much.
It's too lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot going on at this company. Like,
our
company. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got all this technology, and it was like very overwhelming when I first got on board, man. Sure. New systems I wasn't used to, websites I had no idea about, and I'm just like, it's a lot going on. Right. But thank the Lord, at that time we had COVID, so nothing was really going on anyway.
Right.
I had a lot of time to just sit down, digest it piece by piece, figure it all out, and then I was able to start doing my thing, man. And wasn't.
How were you able to navigate around the system to stay focused on the things that mattered as opposed to the things that really don't matter? How'd you do that? I know you didn't go in there and just start taking all of it. You had
trial and error. I mean, I took like eating an elephant. You bite it a little bit at a time. I just, just take a little bit at a time, and then, you'll discover what's important and what's not.
That's good.
But I took a little bit bite at a time, and then I just got it to where whatever I need to do, I could do. Any other stuff, I ain't gonna worry about it.
That's good.
So yeah. So yeah. So yeah, man, that technology piece is what I love, because they really take consideration what agents say about the technology. If an agent makes a suggestion about the technology, they actually write that down. They actually listen to agents of what we need for any system that we have. So, and then because I think what it was I was asking about technical questions. Say, hey, can this do this? And the lady was like, no, we can't do that. She said, do you want to submit a change request? I'm like, change request? What is that? She said, well, you can write up a little thing of what you want to change, and then we'll submit it up to the technology guys and see if it's something they'd be willing to make a change to.
That's good.
That blew my mind.
Yeah.
That blew my mind. Like, you're listening to me to see what I want this system to do, how we can make the system better. That told me that you really care about us. You really want to have our input on how we can make this technology even better than what it is now. So it was, and then once I closed up all those deals and started rocking and rolling, I was like, oh, this is sweet. My check get there right there.
Yeah, you get your money at the closing table.
Money at the closing table, wasn't no big deal if I want it. And here's another one. When I went on vacation, I closed the deal on vacation. And it was like, well, how do you want to do it, Mr. Murphy? You want your direct deposit? I said, what?
Direct deposit?
Y'all do direct deposit?
Go and put that in my account.
She said, yeah, if you just go in there and type in how you want your check, we'll direct deposit into your account. Just give us a couple of days. Once we get the check, we'll deposit in your account. And I was like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Never heard of this before.
It's crazy.
I thought people got paid with checks because she's like, no, we can deposit in your account.
That's good.
While on vacation. So it was no brainer, man. I was like, man. And then that's the thing. They don't bother you. They don't bother you, man. They don't make you come to these sales meetings. They don't make you come to these mandatory meetings. If you want to come, you can come. If you want to be a part of something, you can. But if you don't want to, or if you don't want to go to things, you don't have to.
You don't have to do it.
I've heard a lot of agents say it's like highly recommended, meaning that it's mandatory.
It's mandatory. If you ain't there, they're gonna say something.
Yeah, they're gonna say something like, "Where were you? We didn't see you at the sales meeting today this morning." No, I got other stuff to do.
Right. I'm chilling today.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Chris. So we've talked about a lot of stuff, man. So what's your next step? Where you? I know you talked about getting more business.
Yeah.
We got the podcast going on.
Yeah. We got a couple launch parties coming up.
Say again?
So we got a couple launch parties that's happening.
Got a couple launch parties. What else are you thinking about doing with what we're trying to build here?
Are you asking about this particular platform, or are you talking about the totality in real estate?
The whole I like to call it the ecosystem.
The ecosystem, yeah, man. My heart and my soul is all about training. So I believe that we're going to be able to build a platform that we can bring the true, authentic training that needs to be done to help these agents navigate around, to help them become very, very successful in the industry. And then not only just in the industry, but to help them become successful. So therefore there is an exit strategy. And so I think, Maurice, a lot of your agents don't have an exit strategy. And what I mean by that is, if you ask the typical agent what they plan on doing, they're just going to tell you, I'm just going to sell houses until, right? So that's not really an exit strategy. That means that you're going to be 80, 90 years old. You've seen them in the industry. This really, really, still just grinding and doing their thing. But if something should happen, if something should ever happen to them, their income is going to stop.
Yeah.
Period. Because it's a transactional based industry. So what happens is people have that mindset that, okay, well, because I don't want to just do transaction, what I'll do is I'll go and open up a brokerage. Well, the concept behind that is that they're trying to, find something that will eventually one day they can stop, but still be able to receive a little bit of commissions on the back end. The problem with that model is most brokerages and most people going to a brokerage, they're going to want 100%. So, so you see what I'm saying? So the math ain't going to add up. So now what you're going to do is you're going to have to figure out how can you just, start charge little transaction fees or desk fees. And most successful agents, they're not going to want to be a part of that. So therefore, you're not going to get the cream of the crop, right? You're going to get brand new agents. And with the problem with brand new agents, you're going to be training your competition. Because eventually they're going to realize, well, shoot, I know the information now. Let me go to a 100% broker and I could be out of here and get all my money. There's no loyalty. So when you ask me what my plan is, I want to be able to build this platform to the point, well, number one, we are producing agents. So that's what we're going to do. We can't get around that. But then we're also going to be able to produce our exit strategy, recruit, train, motivate. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that we can have, 400, 500 agents that we're actually helping and training and cultivating and helping them become successful and showing them a better way and showing them how they can actually make $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 and not have to kill themselves in order to make $200,000, $400,000. And now they still have the freedom and the flexibility where they can go out on their family and hang out with their children and not miss graduations because you got to go show a house. And you know what I'm saying? And what happens is we get so tied into this industry that we really don't have a plan to actually have that freedom, which is the very thing that we all got into this industry to have. It's the freedom.
Got you.
So that's where I'm at.
Got you. So here's another question for you. You brought up something I want to talk about.
Okay.
So, you've been in the business a lot longer than I have. What are the problems and pitfalls with 100% brokerages?
There's a couple problems. Well, number one,
talk about it now. I want to hear it.
Yes. So from the broker standpoint, is that you're giving all the money away to the agent just to recruit them to your agency. So if there's no money left on the table because you didn't give it all away in order to recruit that particular agent, how are you going to sustain? Because now you got overhead, you got a building that you got to pay for, you got all the logistics that you got to pay for, the lights and the phones and the internet. So you get all this exposure and expenses, but you didn't give all the money away on the front end to these agents who saying, I want 100%.
Yeah.
And so I understand the concept. Your concept is I'm gonna give you 100%, and I'm gonna get $200 on the back end transaction fee. But let me ask you a question: how many agents do you actually need in order for that $200 transaction fee to even happen? Well, first of all your agents not gonna be producing agents, so there's not gonna be no whole bunch of transactions, right?
Yeah.
Because you're only getting paid when a transaction. So the mindset, well, look, I'll just charge them a monthly desk fee. Okay, well, how much is that monthly desk fee gonna be? No transaction fee, just monthly desk fee. Let's say that monthly desk fee is $200 because you got a glamorous office.
Yeah.
Well, how many agents do you actually need into your office in order for that $200 to even be worth it?
Yeah.
I mean, if you got 10 agents at $200, that's $2,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? So the math ain't gonna add up for you.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between the broker standpoint, right? It's not going. It's never going to add up to the point where you really want it to go, which is the thing that you're looking for, which is that exit strategy. It's not going to work out for you. If you look at some of the majors like Watson, they're not really in the real estate game as far as agencies. Watson just owned the building and he rent and all that type of stuff. So that's why he got so many locations, right? So he figured out if I have more locations and just put a whole bunch of people in these locations, by default, I'm gonna make my money.
Yeah.
But if you ask the average broker, well, do you want to recruit? Most of them gonna tell you, no, I don't even feel like recruiting. Well, how you gonna make some money?
Yeah.
How you gonna make any money? Because you just left 100% broker with no expenses. And now you done went off and then opened up your own agency to do what? Make the same amount of money that you was making when you had no expenses?
Yeah.
So the only way that's going to make that work is if you actually go out there and recruit agents. That's number one. Number two, when you're talking about these agents who are going to these 100% brokers, the reality is there's not enough meat on the bone in order for that to be sustainable for the broker. So that broker is going to pull away all the resources and things like that you actually need because there's no money to pay for them. They didn't give you all the money up front. They don't have money on the back end to help you pay for a CRM, lead generation systems, training. Why? They didn't give you all the money up front.
Yeah.
But what happens with most people in the psychology is most of these agents want to go to a 100% broker, but then they want all the resources and trainings that they're going to get as if they went to a regular mom and pop like a Watson.
Yeah.
And the reality is not going to happen that way. So you're going to be caught in a two-way thing, because what's going to happen is you're going to get all the money up front, but there's not going to be any types of resources on the back end to help you become successful. Now what's going to happen is you're going to go to 100% broker, and like you said earlier, but because you can go to 100% broker and there's nothing there, you're quickly going to find out I need to lead here.
Yeah.
Why? All the resources and trainings and things that you actually needed to help you become successful is not going to be there.
Gotcha.
So they're working against each other. Right now, we have a system that's working actually against each other. And I think that's why EXP just has such a powerful platform, because they have, when you shared it with me, they have all the tools, the resources, the training, everything you need. It's not 100% broker, but because you have everything that you need to become successful, 80-20 split, because you have everything that you need, that 80% is going to still look a whole lot better than any one of these 100%.
True.
Why? True. Because you're going to understand how to make money. You're going to understand how to close deals. You're going to get all the tools and the resources that you're going to need in order to become a successful agent that these mom and pop 100% is not going to have. That's just my opinion.
Got you. So the message then. So you mentioned about being a trainer. You like training people. You like giving the coaching.
Yeah.
What would you say to a brand new first year agent, been in the business less than a year? Yeah. What would you say to them to help them be successful? What are the 3 things you would tell them to do to help them become successful?
Okay, so number 1, I would say, so am I assuming they already with a broker?
They already with a brokerage, yes.
So they already broker. Okay, so because this is important. So I would think the number 1 thing that you need to do is you need to figure out your why and your goals. Right? What are you actually trying to accomplish? That's the number 1 thing.
Hold on, I'm going to cut you off, but why is that so important? I don't mean to cut you off, but why is that so important? Because I hear a lot of people saying the why.
Because that's the brain. That's how the brain works, right? The brain works that way. The brain is going to go after a target, right? And so if you don't have a target for the brain to actually operate in, it's not going to be able to. It's going to say, okay, it's going to be like squirrel. Okay, that one? No, not that. Okay, how about this one? No, not that either. Okay, well, that's how the brain's going to work. It's always going to try to figure out what you're trying to accomplish, right? Because you have no clear target. So you have to give your brain a clear target on what we're actually trying to accomplish. And then once you do that, then you have to reverse engineer it. You have to reverse engineer, figure out where you're trying to go, reverse engineer it, and what's actually going to take you there to get it done.
Okay.
All right. Number 2, I would say number 2 is to remove all the fear. Remove fear. And just realize that this is going to be a journey that you're on, and it's not going to happen overnight for you.
Yeah.
And so you have to eliminate all the noise that's surrounding you, all those images, all those voices that comes to you, like you did earlier when you got that little $500 check, and that voices came quickly to your mind, like, this is some old bullshit. I'm gonna get up out of here, right? You got to get rid of those noises, right? You got to get rid of those noises, and that what that is fear, right? That's that fear trying to come to grips and try to stop you from achieving your next goal, right?
Yeah.
So I would say number 1 is you got to make clear goals. Figure out where you're trying to go. Number 2, remove all the doubt and all the fears, right? And then number 3, you have to enjoy the journey and the process, right? Because what happens is once you begin on the number 3, if you could just be grateful and enjoy the journey and the process, it will make all your pitfalls worth it, because you understand that the pitfalls are a part of the journey and the process. Right? So remove your thoughts from, I'm finna go out here and I'm finna sell $1 million houses and we finna be on $1 million lists, because when that don't happen and you don't have anything to fall back on and say, okay, well, that's just part of the journey. If you don't have anything to fall back on, you're gonna think that was the actual goal. And it's not the goal. Be in love with the journey and the process and watch how your career excels. Yeah.
That's man. That's some powerful stuff you just said, man. I mean, the why, I hear it a lot, the why.
Yeah.
And I really didn't have, I had a why, but my why came from my wife, man.
Yeah.
Great career, great military career. Now all of a sudden she said, hey, I'm about to get out and go back to school. I said, what?
Right.
So that you're right. I mean, that definitely changes your mindset. Like, you going down from having 2 decent incomes to now you're the sole breadwinner. And then I said to myself, I said, hey man, you're gonna have to pay for this school, because she already got a bunch of debt from when she went to school before. Now you're gonna have more debt. So that was definitely my why. I said, man, I gotta make this thing work. Like, I can't. And then also, who wants to go back to a 9 to 5?
And I want to say something real quick, and we gotta get the show. But I want to say something. People think that why has to be something like, something grander, or what I'm saying. I want to save the children in Ethiopia because they now have no war. But you gotta understand, that's not how the brain works, right? The brain is in tune to how you're actually feeling. We call that energy, right? That's the fuel the energy that you possess is the fuel that's actually going to get behind your why. So if you have a true why, and like you said, your why was, oh snap, my wife is going to leave out this job. I ain't gonna have no money. I can't go back to no 9 to 5. I got to make sure I got to cover her job because we only got about a couple months where ain't no money coming in, and she's gonna be looking at me cockeyed, and I ain't trying to lose this wife over no mess. You know what I'm saying? So let me get out here and make that was your why. So what happens is that fuel on the inside of you begin to fuel that passion and fuel that energy. So on the days that you felt like, man, I ain't gonna go out here and do no door knocking, that little energy on the inside said, well, okay, well, you gonna go back to a 9 to 5 then?
Yeah.
And quick, you're like, okay, well, let's go.
Yeah.
You know, but if I had said to you, your why should be bigger than that, man. You should probably figure out how you can pay for the children in Ethiopia and Africa. You'd be like, huh? That ain't Bill Gates doing that? There's no why, there's no fuel behind it.
Yeah.
Your why has got to be, I like your goals, your why has got to be authentic to who you are as an individual. And when you find that, the fuel and the passion that's gonna come before that, it's gonna take you to a whole nother level.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. So so what else you got for him, man? I mean, you've dropped a lot of gems here today, man. You've talked about your why. We talked about consistency. We talked about
discipline. Yeah. So here we go. Let's do this. Yeah. Final thoughts. If I dropped you off in some unknown place and you got your real estate license, what's the first thing you're gonna do?
Wow. So you drop me off in a place.
You don't know nobody.
Real estate license. Here's what's gonna look like to me. Man, first off, I'm gonna try to get the lay of the land. That's the first thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ride around, see what's going on, see what the housing market looks like, see how everything goes. Become familiar. Become a part of that community. You know what I'm saying? Because it's very important when you start working with people that you're very knowledgeable. You know what the hell you're talking about. Because a lot of people can talk, but they really don't know what they're talking about. Learn that community that I'm going to be dropped in. That's number one. 2, I'm a veteran, so I'm going to find out what other veterans hang out at.
Okay.
Find my tribe. If my tribe are veterans, I'm going to find out where the veterans hang out. I'm going to go to the VFW. I'm going to go to the American Legion. I'm going to find the organizations. I'm going to find out where the people are that I can relate to, that I could be like, hey, what's going on? I serve, you serve. It's that connection. Find those people you connect with.
Your tribe.
Because when the rubber meets the road, I hear it a lot, and I definitely know it's the truth. Your network is your net worth. So if I can be around other veterans that can help me, show me, guide me, and finding my tribe, they're my tribe because that's all I know. I did it for over 20 years. I did it for over half my life.
That's good.
So find that tribe, and then here's some examples. Mothers, single mothers, or single fathers, or people, book clubs, or gym rats. People like to go to the gym. Like, find those people that you can connect to. And then start making those connections and building those relationships. The third and final thing that I would say do is start building your CRM. As you're meeting these people, you're networking, start building those names. Oh, hey, I just met Chris Allen at this networking event. He's got a son, or blah, 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 blah. His birthday is this day. And start building that database to where I can start calling people, following up with them. Because once you meet someone, that's the biggest thing that I see a lot of people not do, is follow up.
That's good.
Because that's going to further that relationship. After that moment of time you met them at a networking event, you can call them up and say, hey, I met you at this event. Let's grab coffee and see if we can work together, collaborate together.
That's good.
Because now I'm strengthening that relationship even further to build on a business relationship. And it doesn't happen overnight. It just doesn't.
That's good.
And that's my thing. That's my networking thing. But if I'm trying to get but here's the thing though. If we're going to talk about just getting business right now, I need to find out who the top producers. Why do I say who the top producers in that area? Because that's what I'm going to do. Hey, I see you got a new listing. You mind if I do an open house on you?
There you go.
Can I do an open house? Can I do open house? Can I do open house? Yeah, you can do my open house because they ain't trying to do it. They want to go on vacation. They want to spend a 3-day weekend. I'm finna grind on these open houses. I'm finna probably hit these phones, which I really don't like to do. And that goes back to what you said. It's your why. I really don't like hitting the phones. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I understand that that's easy way to get business. Hit that phone.
That's good.
Start calling people. You know.
That's good. That's good. Well, listen, man. Great show.
Absolutely,
we pivoted and we made it work.
Yeah, man, it's a whole hour and 10 minutes.
And look, now 10 minutes. We got a lot. We could have probably kept going too. So,
we
great
could
show.
Have, man.
I think next week
we got on the panel next week. I want to see.
We got Marie Cochran. We got Marie and Johnny Cochran, man, a husband and wife team.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's doing some amazing things, man, here in Jacksonville. I've seen them when they first got into the industry, man, and to watch them grow over the years has been tremendous. Doing some amazing things. So I'm very, very excited to see how a husband and wife team actually operates in this industry. So I'm excited.
You know what? I am too, because my wife told me she's never getting into real estate. So I want to see how this works. I definitely want to see how this works because she said she don't have the patience for it. Like she said, nah, I'm good.
She like the money, but she don't like the patience.
Yeah, and that's another thing. She don't like the inconsistent pay. She wants a 9 to 5 where she get paid every 2 weeks.
I get it. Different mindset.
Different mindset.
So, well, listen. Right. Until next time, man. Don't talk about it, be about it, man. Just appreciate you, brother. Everything that you're doing. And,
appreciate you too, man. Let's keep doing. Let's keep rocking, man. Let's keep killing this thing, man.
Let's do it. All right, bro.
All right, man.
Peace. Salute.
Out.